there's a way to make an entrance.
This is my destiny.
It was now a conspiracy of witches.
Download Veely today.
I'm Kat, I'm 35. I'm a mum to 6-year-old Ella and 2-year-old Frankie. Ella is 6 and sassy and cheeky and independent. She has cerebral palsy and epilepsy. And then Frankie is 2 with a big head of blonde hair, loves cheese and crackers. Anyone say 1, 2, 3 cheese? No. How about 1, 2, 3 poos and wheeze? Nan is my nan, so the children's great-grandmother. She lives with us. I won't disclose her age, but she is the most epic storyteller, but gets a lot of things wrong up because she's completely deaf. Can we smile? Say boo. Cheers. Cheers. Say boo. Keep knocking them off. How high can you get? Ella had some seizures on Friday morning that ended up in an admission to Starship, and then found that she had other complications. So they did an X-ray and found that she basically had a football-sized mass in her bowel, which is she's constipated.
Hey, Mum.
We are.
Can I have that?
So having cerebral palsy and not drinking very well and all of the other things that are going on with her, it's just got super bad. So she's been having treatment for that. And now we've been sent home with an NG tube to give Ella medicine and water and things through it. Ella's got a bunch of labels, diagnoses. She has cerebral palsy, and that she has that because she had quite a massive brain injury when she was born at 25 weeks. That subsequently caused another condition, hydrocephalus, and the two combined, statistically, quite likely that you'll end up with epilepsy. So she has epilepsy too.
Hello,
What is your name?
my name is Ramon. What is your name?
Ella.
And how old are you, Ella? Is that 5?
Trying to manage that, but unfortunately for Ella, her epilepsy is difficult to manage in terms of regular medication, and she suffers a lot from the side effects, and she's getting lower and lower chances of ever finding a medication that would stop all of her seizures completely. Hydrocephalus, kind of known as water on the brain. Inside the brain you've got ventricles, and within them your brain creates fluid, which is in your spinal cord. And basically what's happened with Ella is after the brain bleed she suffered, the old blood and the clot blocked up the plumbing system in there. So she developed hydrocephalus, so without intervention it would compress the brain tissue and she would die. So what they've done is they put a shunt into the ventricle that drains the fluid out into her abdomen, and then the body naturally absorbs it. So that's how we manage that condition.
What is that?
Catherine, you didn't tell me that.
She's had 23 surgeries. She spent 122 days in the NICU non-stop. We go to the hospital nearly every month, at least once a month. And that's admissions, emergency admissions, clinic appointments. Yeah, it never ends.
We live here, and I'm going to move with them when they go to Omaha. So I'm trying to cook a meal for them at the moment. I'm tense about it, but I'm hoping it'll work out because Catherine and I have the same sort of dream for Ella, and we like a change, and to go that far is pretty good. Ella, you know, she's a bundle of joy and a bundle of worry, and she's just Ella. Yes, she tells you what she thinks.
We have been in Starship for the last few days. Yeah, it was meant to have our last day at kindy today, and we've missed that, and I don't know what the rest of the week will bring, pretty much. But But that's our life. Anyone want more water? Crack up. Yeah. Up on your feet. Ah, nice cuddles. Pretty good. Number 28 is mainstream. So mainstream kids, neurotypical kids. Ella's Ella's the only one there with a physical disability. But they've been incredible. They're the first early childhood centre I visited, and they're hugely inclusive and have been such a huge support. So when we started, she was 2.5 and wasn't really mobile at all, even in terms of crawling. And she could sit on her own unassisted, but it was such a huge day when she finally crawled out of the indoor space and made it out into the play area.
What song are you going to sing me?
Do you know the sing song?
No, you sing me the sing song.
So this is my PhD space, but it also becomes my personal assistant hub for Ella. I can see the kindy from out the window, and when she's needed an ambulance, I've managed to get there before the ambulance has, so it's so good being so close. I love it.
Is it Ella sellotape? Yeah. Special sellotape. Ella's got the way of doing it.
You know what I can do?
Oh, I can see what you can do.
I'm doing my PhD in arts as a tool for social change. My background, I actually trained as a theatre director at Toi Whakaari and then went into youth work with the YMCA, and I found a lot of the things that I was doing in the community related to what I was doing as a theatre director. So I'm kind of pulling everything together.
Shall we make a card for Mum?
Yeah.
I'm going to have a yellow piece.
But I started that when I was pregnant with Ella, and I've had so many suspensions with her health care that, yeah, I basically enrolled in 2012 and I'm still going. I'll probably move Ella into a different space and then we'll assess her and then just decide if we can administer the medicine or if we need to call an ambulance. Well, kind of the first thing that kicks in is just the survival mode, like, right, okay, let's get to her, let's assess her, see what she needs. And then at the same time, it was like, oh, this is meant to be her last day, and last week was meant to be her last day, and we're redoing it all, and this kid just can't catch a break. And then on top of all of that, hang on a minute, why is this happening? Is she brewing some sort of illness? Is there something wrong with her shunt? Is there other health issues? So we're kind of juggling all of that. Where is she? I think we call an ambulance just to give her some monitoring while we give her the medicine, just in case. I'm just nervous. Yeah. I feel like over time I've got a lot of practice to deal with it all on the spot, and I'm quite good when it all happens. It's afterwards I kind of fall apart. My daughter may be having a seizure. We just got to check your tummy, Ella. She has prolonged seizures, so she might be still having the same one. You're getting some nice cuddles from Nicola, and Mum is right here. We're going to get the people from the ambulance are going to come and they might help you, okay? With Ella in long-term chronic health, it's not just a quick trip in and out or a one-off long trip, it's constant. just moved to Omaha from Papatoetoe. We were struggling to find a rental that was accessible and warm and dry for Ella, along with a suitable school. So we've uprooted our whole family to move up here for a little bit more of a relaxed lifestyle.
Oh, you got it. My turn.
I met Brett at high school.
What are these?
We got married in 2012.
Maybe.
Oh, wait.
We've separated, and it's really hard. We're a young couple, and we've had so many things thrown at us, and we've tried really hard to communicate and work our way through it. But it's a huge amount of tragedy. And despite it all, I think we work really well together and putting the kids first, but we weren't really putting ourselves first. And I think we need to do that so the kids see that and sense of learning how to look after themselves.
Done.
We got pregnant in 2011 with, we didn't know, but a little girl, Emily. And at 37 weeks, I thought I was in labour and took some Panadol and kind of paced around at home. And by the time we decided it was right to go to the hospital, I wasn't coping very well and found that I developed a syndrome called HELP syndrome. So I'd actually had placental abruption and we lost the baby. So I delivered Emily a few hours later and then fought for my own life. I was really unwell and ended up in intensive care. So that was super rough. We were lucky again with Ella because that scan allowed us to slow things down. So we got to 25 weeks, which is a viable age where they can intervene. Then again, we were lucky because I got steroids on board to help develop her lungs. I could fit my wedding rings around her ankle. So she was phenomenally small. She was a good weight. She weighed just over, or she weighed 800 grams, which is a good weight for a baby that age. And probably because of the medication I was on to help my placenta develop, helped that.
Come on.
You know, there's two people in this relationship. She's there too. She's fragile and totally reliant on all of this medical intervention to survive. But she's still I still believe that she was making choices along the way. So, yeah, she was a fighter right from the start. I think we skipped the market. I think it's going to be a bit too much for her. It's too busy. Yeah, so how about we can either go over to the Four Square or walk down to the bakery and grab something to eat and then go back to the park. The market and even things like Kmart and the supermarket is just so busy and overwhelming with colours, light, different people walking past, all the noise that Ella can't kind of manage. And I found the older she gets and the harder it is for her to kind of make sense of those spaces, and she just loses the plot.
You're a beautiful boy.
Oh, thank you.
It's really great. So Ella really misses him a lot. He's our family, so he knows the rhythms of us and what's kind of expected and what's needed. He's really awesome with the kids, so always has been. Although he holds her a lot longer than I can. Who wants some scone?
Ella lights up when her dad is with her. She's more voluble and gets excited. Yeah, lovely.
She's growing up, a wee bit delayed, but yeah, she's...
Put it in your nose.
She's no longer the little baby anymore, and she knows what she wants, and she'll tell you about it too. So yeah, might be quite a large step from kindy to primary school, but hopefully she takes the rein. Currently, she does mostly one-on-one at kindy, and to go into a classroom with 20 other kids, yeah, she's going to want the attention of the teacher. So we'll see how that plays out. She knows I normally fold, so.
So Frankie came and surprised us in 2016. We were umming and ahhing for a long time about if we would have any more children. And I was absolutely terrified the entire pregnancy. an amazing midwife who was with me for both of my girls and with Frankie, and had a really supportive, knowledgeable team. So I kind of, anytime I felt nervous, I went in and out and they did extra scans just to check that he was doing okay. So I was induced at 36 weeks, and all I wanted was to be awake for it and for the baby to make lots of noise, and he did. So, yeah, he's my ray of sunshine. I feel so guilty, and he's always second best. I mean, he's had to walk further. I've been places where I've forgotten a seat in the buggy, or I've just had the wheelchair, and he has to walk. He's this little toddler, you know, crying because he can't, you know, go in the buggy too. Or I've been stuck where I'm carrying Ella. There's other things that have been really good, like with toilet training. We're still working on that with Ella, and he's ready to now. So it's kind of something that they're doing together. I'm gonna come and pick you up. Come on. Can I help? What's frustrating? Nothing. Okay. Are you feeling hungry? No. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to put you down if you hurt me with your head. Okay. You gonna keep jumping? We can jump real high instead of pinching. Go. Stamp the floor. No. You don't want to do that? No. Okay. The first hump that I had to go through was, the first thing, I was angry at her for hurting herself. And I was like, what are you doing, you know? And, you know, I thought it was silly and, you know, and trying to find the right language to, and then, you know, to say, Ella, what are you doing? That you're hurting yourself, this is silly. And then realising, well, that's actually not helpful for her at all. Take it back. And then the next hump I had to go through was being embarrassed about it. Like it was my fault that she was doing it. All right, well, I'm right here when you need me. No! I'm not leaving. Can you say I need you if you need me?
No.
What were we building with these?
I don't know.
Have you been building a house?
I don't know.
I don't know either. First of all, I decided to take her off her meds to see if that was causing all of her behavioural challenges. I did a parenting course, read everything I could online about interventions to try and help. And then she had a massive meltdown in one of her clinic appointments with the neurologist, and they put a referral through to child mental health. So we waited for that. And then we got a letter saying that she didn't qualify. So I rang them up and was like, what is going on? She doesn't fit our criteria. And I said, well, why? She's 5 years old and she's self-harming. She's hurting herself and she doesn't qualify. And they just sighed and said, she's developmentally delayed. And I was like, well, what does that mean? That doesn't excuse this. So they roadblocked. We couldn't do anything. Dad, and while you're talking to Dad, I do your tubie. Deal? But what actually helped change things was when I said I couldn't do it anymore, that I wasn't coping, that I'd thought of suicide, I'd gone down this huge rabbit hole because nothing I was doing was helping, and how could I send her to school in that state of anxiety and stress and pressure without being able to support the people that would be with her or her. And that's when people started to listen. I feel really ill. To be honest, I'm so nervous. I think once I see her in the classroom, I'll feel better. Do you remember your teacher's name? Miss Forsyth.
Miss Forsyth.
Miss Forsyth. Miss Forsyth.
Miss Forsyth.
Yeah.
Miss Forsyth.
Yeah. She will come and say hello to you today. Look at you.
Can I order?
What do you think?
Where we go?
To
My new school.
your new school, yeah. Oh, you excited?
Yeah. Okay.
Good walking, Ella.
Can you jump?
I think after all of that searching, we're here. We'll give it a really good go. she deserves it. It's her right to have an education. So because it is our choice to choose if we send them to a special needs school or mainstream. And she loves a challenge, and I know she'll be behind, and there'll be things to adapt, but she'll excel at other things as well. And she always surprises me, even this morning. I'll put you in your wheels when we get to the gate. No, I'm gonna walk. So she walks all the way here.
Here comes Ella. Great. Everyone, can you say good morning to Ella? Good morning, Ella.
But she was very quiet at the beginning. She'd say a few statements, no, I want it this way, but she was, I think, kind of taking it all in for some time, but she's, getting a bit more confident and curious now.
Good morning, Ella. New Ella. Good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Wilson.
Good morning.
Good morning. It went a lot smoother than what I kind of expected. Way smoother than what I expected. So I can't believe how nervous I was. I guess it was just seeing how she is.
I would love to.
So every single bead
I want to keep this.
is something that Ella's been brave enough to go through at the hospital. So over time, we have collected all of her necklaces. It just doesn't work like that. I don't know what her week is going to bring. I don't know what her day's going to bring most of the time. If we manage to be here every day for a week, that's a rarity, but a solid thing. But how do you plan around that?
So Kat showed me yesterday, she showed me a little video that we've got of Ella, and it's called Calling All Fairies. Kat, can you tell us why it's called Calling All Fairies?
Well, we did lots of fundraising a year ago to help Ella get to America for a big operation so she could learn how to walk, because her legs weren't working like your legs work. So we fundraised and called her fundraising campaign Fairy Steps for Ella, because when she was born, she was as tiny as a fairy, and Ella actually means fairy maiden. Trawling through blogs and pages of, web pages of information about children with cerebral palsy, I came across selective dorsal rhizotomy and found that there was a surgery there that would enable a child to walk, and that's where I started looking at it. Found out that Ella needed to be 2 and the types of cerebral palsy that fitted in, and I thought, right, this is something that we'll do one day. She had surgery on May the 3rd in St. Louis in 2018, so that was last year, and she had surgery on her 5th birthday. Everything she does, and she rolled over, or one day when I saw her eyeing up a toy and she was trying to figure out how to put it in her other hand and she couldn't use that hand, and then she decided to use it as a gripper for the other toy. It's just, you dance way more in those victories than I have with anything else, so. And it's different too, like having Frankie now and seeing him do them with such ease. There's a new kind of pride. I don't feel upset that he can do them. I feel he surprises me more that he can do them. Like the first day that he rolled over, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even have to do that for you. How did that happen? So there's funny little things like that, but it's different. So yeah, I'm really lucky to have Ella. It is our normal, but I've been seeing this amazing lady. She's a psychologist that kind of looks at neuroscience and the fact that we're actually living with long-term chronic health. And what she's helped me identify is that I'm kind of addicted to adrenaline, and because we have trauma happen so much, the adrenaline pumps me up, and I'm pretty good at coping with it when it's happening. And I need the adrenaline though, because it helps me make safe decisions for Ella. Doing a good job. All done? Yes. Something happened to her that was preventable and she died. So like a seizure in the night, or somehow falling into some water and not being able to turn over, or being really unwell with a shunt, or a seizure, waking up from a seizure and having more brain damage and me losing who I have. And that's very real. Yeah. and that's why I can't really rest. She rolls over in bed and I check her. Got her! Independence for her choosing what she wants to do for herself and being able to get herself around her own home and looking after her own body, cleaning, washing herself, combing her hair. All right, ready? You gonna jump over it when it comes? Ready? I appreciate so much more in the world because of her. And yeah, it's a fight and it's a battle. I'm gonna cry now. But I love her so much and I'm so proud of her. Can you say cheese?
Cheese.
And again?
Cheese.
And hands up in the air for hooray.
Hooray!
Do you want to see?